5th video in my relationships workshop, The Keys to a Healthy Relationship. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the 5th key, which is how to avert an argument. And I'm going to show you 6 rules that you need to follow. But before I do that, I want you to keep in your mind that nobody agrees all of the time. And in a relationship where that appears to be happening, it's usually a sign that one person is dominating the other, and so only that person is getting their needs met. Disagreements are vital for a relationship to grow, to deepen, and to adapt to changing demands. But to be productive, they have to follow certain rules, or they will just disintegrate into a shouting match, which will at best lead to everybody feeling sad and dissatisfied. At worst, things can become quite abusive. So follow these rules to find a mutually satisfactory way forward. So the first rule is to agree a mutually convenient time to have your discussion. And it's not always a good time to have a discussion. You might be tired, you might be busy, you might be distracted, or you just might not be in the mood. And if you try to talk during one of these times, it's more likely than not that that discussion will become an argument, even if it started off as an uncontroversial chat. So if something is bothering you, say to your partner, look, something is bothering me and I need to talk about it. When can we do that? If the answer comes back as, let's do it now, I would recommend that you delay. Because discussions that have been planned and prepared for always go better than those that have started impulsively, because they are more likely to be driven by emotion. Okay, so the second rule is not to continue your discussion if things are becoming too emotional. Now, it's hard not to get emotional. But once your emotion is too strong, it's hard to think clearly, and clear thinking is necessary if your discussion is going to be productive. So agree before you start that if one or other of you starts to become too angry or too upset, you will take a time out and agree a word, a safe word, that you will use when that starts to happen. And agree that when one of you uses that word, you will take a break for at least an hour, completely separated from each other, so that another argument isn't sparked. The third rule is to stay on topic. Now again, this is really hard when you become emotional, because when your emotional temperature rises, it's difficult not to be distracted by other perceived injustices or unresolved issues. You kind of want to pull them all in at the same time, but keep in mind, you can only properly deal with one thing at a time. So if something else comes up, agree that you will arrange another time to talk about that. Now, the fourth rule is to take it in turns. Again, this is very hard, but a good way of doing that is to get a pen and a piece of paper. When we're very emotional, with that comes an urgency to speak. So instead of speaking, jot down that burning comment. That will help you to wait your turn, but it will also help you to step back a little bit from those thoughts. So by the time it's your turn to speak, you might feel a little differently about what you want to say. Okay, so the 5th step is to not try and resolve it all in one go. Measure your expectations about what one discussion can achieve. And as soon as that discussion becomes circular, take a break and come back to it later. Because as soon as discussions become circular and you start going round and round in circles, that whips up the emotion and things are much more likely to boil over. Now the sixth tip or rule, and this might sound a bit odd, but record your conversation so that you can make sure how you're sticking to the rules. Now, it's important here, this isn't a weapon for you to use against your partner to criticize how they are discussing. It's for you to look at how you are managing things, to look at how you can maybe improve on things next time. Speaking of next time, in the next video, I'm going to look at how comparing ourselves to other people and their relationships can be very damaging. For now, thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you soon.